So we're gonna start with our glute rollout. This is called the Orb. You can find it on my resource page. You can get it on Amazon. It's easy to get. I like it. It's a little bigger. It's a 5-inch ball. I don't like the lacrosse ball. It's a little too pointed. So we're just gonna get this into the outer band of our hip and our glute. So that's our glute med. We really need this to be loose. We need this to be functioning properly before we do our activations, because this is really important when it comes to internal rotation, the way we load, the way we rotate. So we want to start out, it's just kind of in that upper band right below the waistline, and we're just going to kind of roll, find that sensitive spot. I'm sure you're going to find it. It's going to feel pretty intense, especially if you are sitting at a desk all day, working a desk job. These are going to be pretty locked up. All the more reason we need to do it before our workout, before our warm-up. So just breathe into it. If it doesn't feel too bad, I want you to get that right ankle on top of the left knee if that ball is in our right glute, okay? So we're gonna spend anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes on this, and just breathe, and keep moving gently, especially when you find that tight spot. Just kind of stay there and just breathe into it. And then, like I said, I'm a big fan of having a timer out, just so you know, because I mean, if it's painful, that 1 minute can feel like 5 minutes. And a lot of people stop after about 15 seconds thinking they've done a minute. But after we do this right side, then we're always gonna go to the left side. We're always gonna do both sides. So here we're gonna get a kneeling, quad, hip flexor lengthen. We're also gonna raise the arm up and just breathe into these ribs. So I want you to push the toes into the ground. See how my foot's flat? So we're really squeezing this glute here. So we're lengthening through here, activating through here. And we're just gonna lift that arm up. I don't really care about you tilting right now. I just want you to get good at squeezing this glute, feeling the length through here. And we're just gonna breathe. And let's run through about 10 breaths, and then we can switch sides. As always, we're doing both sides. All right, so we've rolled out those glutes. They're feeling good. So now we're gonna go into a 90-90 position. So we're making 2 90-degree angles with our legs here. And I just want you to stay real upright. Feel like you shift that chest right over this front knee. And we're just gonna stay here for about 20 seconds. I'm not gonna stay here for 20 seconds because I'm gonna show you what we're doing. But we're gonna stay here for about 20 seconds. And then I want you to stay upright. We're gonna move over this way. We're gonna stay here for about 20 seconds. We're just keeping that back flat. Feel that stretch in this lead glute. And then we're gonna go more towards the inside here for 20 seconds. And we're just breathing the whole time, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathing into the stretch. And you can definitely do a few rounds here. I want you to at least do 1 round. I know some of you might be pressed for time getting through this warm-up, but these warm-ups are just as important as the workouts. And just go through all 3 angles. And then, as always, we will switch sides. So now we're gonna work in some spinal mobility with some cat-cows, but I also want you to work in some core activations when we hollow and tuck that hip. We're gonna work on our breathing, okay? So we're gonna start out on all 4s. We're just gonna breathe in here on the arch, so, and then out on the tuck. And really on that tuck, we really wanna feel hollowed. We wanna feel like we're pushing the ground away, feeling our scap slide to the outside, shoulder blades far apart, feel that stretch through the mid-back. But we really wanna force that exhale out and feel that belly button go in towards our spine. So we're gonna go inhale here. And if you want a little more core activation, we're gonna take this band. We're just gonna go around the low back here. And go out here, you're gonna feel that band kind of pull you into the arch, and then we're gonna feel like we push the band out. And just give you a little more awareness of what your core is doing. And a little tension to help you in the motion. So this move, we're gonna really work on opening up the rib cage. We're gonna work on rotation. We're gonna work on side bend. A lot of us have one side that's a little more compressed than the other, and we really need to focus on the rib cage, focus on breathing if we wanna free up the thoracic spine as well as the low back. So if we go right foot over, we're gonna rotate to the right and then tilt to the right. So we're up here, elbows wide. We're gonna turn as far as we can, tilt, and then big deep breath, 3 of them into the ribs. And then we're gonna come back to the front. We're gonna rotate as far as we can. We're gonna tilt, and you're gonna notice you're gonna be able to rotate and tilt further each time. Really gonna help us with rotation. And then I'm gonna switch sides. We're gonna go left over right. We're gonna rotate left, tilt. You can see my right side of my ribs are a little more sticky. Look, as a righty golfer, I do a lot of side bending to the right. My right side of my rib cage has always been tougher than my left. So I really need to work on expansion through that right side of the rib cage. It'll help free up my shoulder as well, like I said, as well as my thoracic spine. We're gonna turn, tilt. So now we're working into our activation portion. We're gonna work on those glutes and that glute med specifically after we've rolled them out. So we're just gonna get into this side position here. I want you in a pretty straight line, heels back behind you, and we're just going up just like that. So we're going up with the knee, make sure you're not rolling open. We're going to feel those glutes. Really important to activate this, especially if you've been sitting all day, traveling a lot. These are not going to be working, and we really need these to work if we want to have a healthy back, if we want to rotate well, if we want to use our big muscles in our golf swing. These need to communicate and be strong. Now we're gonna do an internal clam. So we've done 10 there. We're gonna hover this knee and go up. And we're gonna feel a pretty good burn on the outside of this glute. We're really trying to work on activating that glute med while recruiting internal rotation from the hip. Once again, really important for healthy hips, healthy back, healthy knees. Good. And then, as always, we're gonna switch sides. So now we're working our lateral walks. We really want to stay wide, keep the toes straight, don't let them flare out. And we just want to stay wide, feel those hips and glutes working. We're very linear people. We need to work this lateral motion. Whether we're playing golf or any athlete, you really need to be strong laterally, strong and stable. Very important. I like to do about 20 steps each direction. So we're really waking up those obliques now. We're gonna work on spinal stability, anti-tilt, and we're also gonna work on hip stability on this side. So if this right leg's on the inside, we're going out in front with it. We're going along with the arms. Right here, I want you to feel like you're squeezing your core, engage your core. And then we're just gonna Keep the arms long, stay in your posture, and we're just going up and down. You're gonna feel like this band wants to pull you this way. That's why we gotta use these obliques. Keep the shoulders level, and we're just going up and down, just like that. We're keeping this right hip stable as well. We're gonna do 15. Just keeping that core engaged, keeping this foot active to the ground, keeping this hip stable. And as always, we're gonna flip around, so now our left foot's gonna be out in front. So now we're doing our banded thoracic rotations, really working on the external rotators of the shoulder. Really good for posture, but also really good for stability at the top of the swing, clearing through the through swing. So we're just gonna go golf posture, and we're just rotating back, keeping this right arm long. Feel like that chest is rotating with it, keeping that lower body fairly stable. Your hips can rotate a little bit. We're gonna do 10 each side. And if you want a little extra challenge, we can go into a split stance and rotate here. Keep this big toe down. And same thing, feel like that chest rotates and that arm stays long. And we'll switch sides. Really helping that through side on this side for me as a righty. Same thing, keep that big toe down. Not gonna feel natural, but it's very important when it comes to recruiting the glute.